And now to a major development in Latin America's fight against organized crime. Ecuador has extradited its most notorious and wanted gang leader, José Adolfo Macías, better known as Fito, to the United States, where he faces federal drug and weapons charges. Now, Fito was reportedly transferred on Sunday from a maximum security prison to an airport, where he was handed over to U.S. officials carrying out the extradition process. His arrest and transfer mark a major breakthrough in Ecuador's violent struggle against narco-trafficking gangs that have turned port cities into epicenters of violence. Now, Fito, a former taxi driver turned crime boss, is no ordinary criminal. In fact, he's the alleged leader of Los Choneros, Ecuador's most notorious cartel-linked street gang. Authorities accuse him of drug trafficking, murder, and organized crime. In fact, his network is believed to be tied to Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, Colombia's Gulf Clan, and the Balkan mafias, allegedly making him a transnational threat. In fact, he was already serving a 34-year sentence when he escaped last year, exposing the reach of criminal gangs inside Ecuador's prisons. When Fito vanished from a maximum security facility, his escape triggered a nationwide emergency and a military crackdown on prisons. What followed was weeks of violence. Gangs staged prison riots, burned vehicles in the streets, and took television crews hostage live on air, plunging the country into chaos. In fact, months went by before the crime boss was finally apprehended. He was captured by authorities after a year in hiding. And officials found him in an underground bunker by a mansion in the country's Manabí province. The villa was equipped with a home gym, marble walls, and a game room, among other amenities. Officials say he feared being buried alive as excavation equipment closed in. Take a look.
En ese momento comenzaron a cavar.
The excavating machinery arrived, and at that moment, they began to dig. When this happened, alias Fito panicked because if we continued digging, the roof of his bunker would collapse. At that moment, he opened the hatch where there were already military and police personnel and got out of the hole he was in. That is how we were able to apprehend and detain alias Fito.
De esa forma, llegamos a la aprehensión, detención de alias Fito.
Now, earlier this month, Fito voluntarily agreed to be extradited to the United States. And the flight transporting the wanted criminal landed in New York on Sunday night, and federal prosecutors have indicted him on charges of cocaine trafficking, firearms possession, and conspiracy. In fact, the U.S. has accused Fito's gang of shipping and distributing multiple tons of cocaine from Ecuador to other countries. And if convicted, he faces a minimum sentence of 10 years in prison and up to life behind bars. Now, Fito, who is the first Ecuadorian to be extradited to the U.S. from Ecuador, will appear later today in federal court, where he will reportedly plead not guilty to the charges leveled against him. And his arrest may be a victory, but the question now is whether taking down Ecuador's most wanted will slow the violence he helped set in motion.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.